what happens when we disobey? We are able to see this from the book of Genesis chapter 6. Immediately after the first couple had disobeyed. So chapter 1, chapter 2, everything was good and God was happy. Chapter 3, someone else was introduced and sin came. Chapter 4, the family of Adam was increasing and multiplying. In chapter 5, Genesis chapter 5, we are being given the genealogy, the record of the people, because they had multiplied. And what happened when people multiply and they sin in their midst? They were being wicked and sin was being multiplied. The sin of disobedience had really encroached. And we are able to see in the book of Genesis chapter 6, from verses 5. We are being told that the people were wicked and they were sinning continually. And in chapter 6, Genesis 6 verses 6, God is regretting. Why did I ever create man? So what really happens when we disobey? God, we grieve the Spirit of God. We cause God to regret why he's keeping us alive, because he was really regretting why he had created man. And in chapter 7, he decided to blot them, to wipe them away. So what happens when we cause God to regret? He can decide to do away with us, because we are told in the book of Ephesians chapter 4 verses 30 that we should not grieve the Spirit of God. When the Spirit of God is grieved, there is no joy. God is not delighting with our lives. He is not enjoying our being. And we can see in the book of Genesis chapter 7, deciding to wipe them away. Thank God we had Noah. Noah was just and he was righteous. And you see what happened in the Garden of Eden. Our righteousness was stripped away, because we can see that these guys were able to look at one another and discover that, oh, we didn't have clothes. So our clothes, we are being told that we should have the clothes of righteousness. We should put on righteousness. So Noah was righteous, and that is why Noah and his generation was spared. So for us not to grieve the Spirit of God, we should be obedient. We should keep the commandments of the Lord. There are no two ways about it. We should always write the word of the Lord in our hearts. That is why King David said in the book of Psalms that I have hidden the word of the Lord in my heart so that I will not sin again. So for us to do away with this sin, with all sins, we should hide the word of the Lord in our hearts, so that we should always be working by the Spirit of God. We should always be in tune with the Spirit of God. We should always know what the will of God. No wonder we are told in the book of Romans chapter 12 verses 2, chapter 1, that we should be renewed. We should not be conformed to the patterns and systems of this world, but rather we should be transformed by the renewal of the mind. We can see in the book of Genesis 5 that people were multiplying and continually they were thinking evil. So we are being encouraged in the book of Romans 12 verses 1 that we should be transformed by the renewal of the mind. So for us to walk in obedience, we should have a renewed mind. We should put on a new man. We are not going to live as usual. We have to be renewed. We have to have renewed mind. We should have the righteousness of God, so that we are able to please God. Thank you very much, and God bless you.